Hey, what's up? In today's video, I'm going to be making a Spider-Man tier list. So if you guys don't know, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, huge Marvel fan. I made an MCU tier list a couple weeks ago, so if you haven't checked that out, because I put a lot of effort into it, it was a really fun video to make. But most of my content on this channel, or basically all of it, is MCOC related, but that is circled around Marvel, and I at least want everything on this channel to be circled around Marvel some way, shape, or form. And plus, I wanted to make a review on Spider-Man Brand New Day, so this is kind of like testing the waters to see if you guys would be interested in seeing something like that, and me bringing back movie reviews, because I watch a ton of movies. I love watching movies. But yeah, today's video, we're going to be making a Spider-Man tier list on all the Spider-Man movies. I have watched each of these movies countless times. And I want to start off this list by saying I like every Spider-Man movie. I might not love every Spider-Man movie, but if I was to walk into a room and any Spider-Man movie is playing, I'm going to sit down and watch it. Um, there are certain Marvel movies that I don't like. I don't like at all. For instance, Thor: Love and Thunder is my least favorite MCU movie out there. Hate that movie. And that's the movie itself is not probably the worst MCU movie there is. Just personal preference. I hated the movie. I hated how the jokes landed. I hated all the marketing, how they set up the marketing to make this movie look absolutely amazing, and it came out trash. But for instance, if that was playing, I probably would watch it, but I'm not gonna. I don't like that movie, is what I'm trying to say. Each of these Spider-Man movies, I at least like. They're at least a 6.5 or 7 out of 10, in my opinion. The lowest Spider-Man movie I think I have rated is a 6.5. And that is treading the waters of movies that I would like watching. So yeah, I just want to start off this list by saying that even the lowest ranked Spider-Man movie, I still like more than a lot of other movies out there. But yeah, let's go ahead and hop right into it. So they're a little out of order. I kind of wanted to do them in order of movie release. Just kind of go through all of them individually and just chronologically, just because I feel like that's a little bit cleaner. Now that being said, I am just going to go through. I'm going to go through them by category or by series as well. So I'm going to do all the Toby, all the Andrew, and then all the Tom movies. But yeah, here we are. Let's go ahead and hop right in. So starting it off, the movie that started off many people's introduction to Spider-Man. I know this is my first Spider-Man movie I ever watched, of course. Is Spider-Man. The original, the OD, Tobey Maguire. It's going A tier. It's just an awesome movie. This is on the same level as Iron Man for me. I think they are both some of the best introduction movies, solo movies out there. I love this movie so much. It means so much to me. This is probably one of my most watched Spider-Man movies, which I have not watched this in probably a year or two, though. I have not watched the Raimi trilogy in a long time, just because I love the other trilogies and I've just been so tapped into the other ones. But I do need to rewatch these movies. But when I was younger, this and Spider-Man 2, and of course TASM was on, but these were the movies that I was watching, and I loved all of them. But Spider-Man 1, it is a very, very great Spider-Man movie. Tobey Maguire is great as Spider-Man. In my opinion, he is the worst Peter Parker. But we will talk about Peter Parker when we get to Andrew. I do think he kind of has the I don't know how to word it. I think Andrew and Tom's or Toby's Peter Parker are both kind of not the greatest in my opinion. But I do think both of their Spider-Mans are amazing. The big thing I have wrong with Toby, I think he plays Peter Parker well. I just think he looks way too old. When I'm watching that movie, everybody in that movie is older than an average high school teacher. I swear. They all are so old. Their dialogue is just kind of weird for younger kids, which it was back in the day. It's kind of a weird gripe to have. Also, Toby he just looks too old. It's kind of weird watching a teenager that looks 30. Also, some of the storylines with Peter I wasn't the biggest fan of, but I will say his Spider-Man is absolutely amazing, and of course Green Goblin is the best villain, one of the best villains out there. Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is absolutely amazing. So, enough about Spider-Man 1. Let's go ahead and hop into Spider-Man 2. And this is the first S tier movie. Spider-Man 1, just better. Better in every way. There's one gripe I have with this movie, and it is the the storyline of Peter kind of loses his powers, but I still think it works great within the movie. I just think that's kind of a weird storyline to do with Spider-Man in general. I don't know. I just always find it kind of weird that there's a movie where half the movie he's not even Spider-Man. But once again, Alfred Molina, I don't know what his name is. I kind of Doctor Octopus. Once again, an amazing villain. They started off strong with two great Spider-Man villains just right off the bat. Two amazing movies with great villains. The train fight is obviously one of the best fights in Spider-Man, period. But yeah, I have so much nostalgia for Spider-Man 2. And everything they did right in Spider-Man 1, they just built on and did better in Spider-Man 2. So there's not much to say. Some of the most iconic scenes. He has a great dialogue at one point on the train when they're fighting and whatever with Dr. Octopus. I don't know. I just love Spider-Man 2. So it is the first S tier movie. Next up is Spider-Man 3. And this is definitely where we fall off a cliff. I believe I have this. This is tied with my lowest rated Spider-Man movie. But once again, like I said, I at least like all the Spider-Man movies. But this movie is not the greatest. I will say that. It is not a great movie by any means. And if we're talking just movie, film, bro aspect, this is one of the worst Spider-Man movies. It's just so clogged and filled with just so much gunk and just random stuff. It just has so much going on for it, and I don't like some of the aspects they do. Like Venom, not a fan of that Venom at all. But on the counter, one of the highest highs in the trilogy for me is the symbiote suit. They do the symbiote suit amazing. I love that suit. It's in my opinion, one of the best Spider-Man suits there are. The symbiote suit is the best thing to come out of this trilogy, in my personal opinion. Also, all the memes of Bully Maguire, which is pretty funny. But also, the lowest thing to come out of this trilogy is Venom. And Green Goblin Part 2, it's just nowhere near Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin, in my opinion. It's just a step back. I do really like Sandman, though. I really do like Sandman. I didn't like MJ at all in these three movies, too. I want to preference that. MJ is so much better in the comics than she is in this movie. This movie series, like, in my opinion, ruined MJ's reputation. I see a lot of people hate on MJ as a character, and I think it's because of this movie and how bad she was portrayed. But yeah, Spider-Man 3 just has way too much going on in it, but the symbiote suit, man. Symbiote suit's awesome. Alright, next up is The Amazing Spider-Man, TASM 1, and this is the movie that ties with Spider-Man 3, in my opinion. If I was to say one thing about TASM, I think it is the most boring Spider-Man movie. Now, once again, I'm going to say this for the final time in this video. I like all Spider-Man movies. So, it's as boring as a Spider-Man movie can get, in my opinion. Of course, Andrew Garfield has always been my GOAT. Ever since I watched Andrew Garfield, I've been on the Andrew Garfield train until we get to Tom. We'll talk about him. But I've always said Andrew Garfield is the best Spider-Man, the just best. I just loved Andrew Garfield's portrayal. And it sucks that his movies are kind of lesser. I think TASM 1 is kind of a boring movie at some parts. I do think the Lizard was a pretty good villain. I actually really didn't mind the Lizard. I thought the Lizard was done pretty well. I wish he had his trench coat on way more, but I think the reason is I read some reports, and I think it's because of the CGI was going to cost way more to have that trench coat on him, but he looked so cool in the ending fight scene when he walked out of the lab, and he was a Lizard with the trench coat on. I thought it was the sickest thing ever. I also do really love his design. I think some people hate on the Lizard's design in TASM 1. I think they are completely wrong. I think the design is amazing. The worst suit out of any Spider-Man movie, in my opinion, is TASM 1's suit, though. I don't like that suit at all. I don't know why, but the yellow lenses just completely take me out of the movie at some points. When I am watching it, I see the yellow lenses, and I'm just like, what the hell did they think looked good about that? And it kind of sucks because every Spider-Man movie, there's very limited amount of suits in Spider-Man's like media that we've seen on live screen. So something has to be worse, and I do think it's not the worst suit of all time out of any Marvel movie ever, but I don't think the suit is that great. But yeah, I think Aunt May is I don't mind her in these movies. I think she is the weakest Aunt May for sure, but she's not bad. I did like the Uncle Death's or Uncle Ben's death a lot in this movie. It's not better than OG Tobey Maguire, but I actually did like it a lot. And I like that whole arc that he went on. Of course, they go on the same one in Spider-Man 1. But yeah, TASM 1 equal to Spider-Man 3 in being the worst. They are both 6.5 out of 10 in my eyes. But yeah, next up is TASM 2. Now, TASM 2 is going in B tier. TASM 2 has some of the highest highs out of the whole entire just set of Spider-Man movies. The fight with Electro in Times Square and the fight with Electro at the end are some of the best and probably the best Spider-Man fights we have ever seen. They are absolutely amazing. But then on that same note, the side plot with their parents making Andrew Garfield's like the only person that can be Spider-Man and kind of ruining that part of the character is absolutely awful. Green Goblin is absolutely terrible. Rhino was kind of done dirty with at the end of the movie. We just seen him once. Of course, we see him at the beginning of the movie. There's a lot of bad stuff. I think Green Goblin is the worst, some of the worst things in the whole entire just set of Spider-Man movies. Also, the subplot when he goes in the subway train with his dad and all that weird stuff with his parents, I think is the worst plot line in any of the Spider-Man movies ever. So it has two things that are just at the bottom of the barrel, but then it has two amazing things. I do think this movie does have a lot of other issues, but it's just such a fun watch that I can't get it any lower. If I had to rate it, it is probably a 7.5 out of 10. But once again, the Electro scenes, any scene where Spider-Man is fighting Electro, it's like a 13 out of 10. But then you get the Green Goblin, and it's like a 1 out of 10. Also, I didn't even mention it. Gwen Stacy's death is just amazing. One of the best scenes in all Spider-Man movies. Man, this movie is a great movie with a lot of bad in it. It's actually a bad movie with a lot of great in it. I shall say that. Also, this suit is the best suit. Without a shadow of a doubt. This suit, we'll talk about more suits in the future, but in my opinion, this is probably my favorite suit out of all of them. Besides the symbiote, I really, really do like the symbiote. But yeah, TASM 2. Pretty solid. I know it's a lot of people's like one of their least favorite Spider-Man movies. I'm not one of them. I think there's so much good in that movie. There's also so much bad. Next up, Spider-Man Homecoming. It is my 10th favorite MCU movie. It's gonna go in A tier. I like it better than Spider-Man the OG. Now, when I first watched this movie, I still thought Andrew Garfield was the GOAT. But after this movie and Civil War, because Civil War, fun fact, in my opinion, I think Civil War Spider-Man is the best Spider-Man we've ever had on screen. That's a lot of people's takes, and I fortunately have the exact same take. I think Civil War Spider-Man, Captain America Civil War, Spider-Man, the 10 minutes of screen time he gets is the best Spider-Man we've had on screen. And I think he plays it very, very closely to that. Tom Holland does. I love Spider-Man Homecoming. I know a lot of people have issues with it because he's Spider-Boy or Iron Man Jr. I don't give a crap. I have so much nostalgia for Spider-Man Homecoming. This is one of my first Blu-ray movies I ever bought because we didn't have a Blu-ray player. We just had a DVD. I remember watching this in theaters, buying the Blu-ray as soon as I could. And like every night after this movie came out, I would watch this movie. I love Spider-Man Homecoming so much. Now, there are some issues in it, yes, but Vulture is one of the most menacing Spider-Man villains. That twist, easily the best twist in any Spider-Man movie, in my opinion. The twist that Vulture, is Liz's dad, Spider-Man's date to Homecoming, peak. Absolutely peak. The first time I ever watched that, I shit myself. I probably shit myself. It was the craziest thing ever. And I just watched this very, very recently. It's still an amazing movie. I don't get how people hate on it. It is easily an 8.5 out of 10, possibly a 9 out of 10. It's not quite S tier because there are some issues with it in my opinion. So I'd probably give it an 8.5 out of 10. Spider-Man, I would probably give an 8.5 as well. And then Spider-Man 2 is an easy 9. But yeah, I love Spider-Man Homecoming. I'm never going to not love it. Next up is Far From Home. Far From Home, I also just watched very recently, and I'm not going to lie, it was worse than I remember. I was always a Far From Home defender. I always thought it was on the same level of TASM. It kind of had the same things going on where there's a lot of good highs and a lot of lows, but I watched that very recently, and it's fallen. I believe this is a 7 out of 10 movie. Honestly, you could convince me it's a 6.5. There's just so much wrong with this movie. First of all, he's not even in America, and that's just kind of weird to have a Spider-Man movie completely set not in America. I know that's what they were going for in the storyline. Mysterio, done amazing. I loved Mysterio. There's just some side plots, though, I just didn't really like. I didn't really care for. Honestly, I didn't really care for much of anything. The whole movie's out of America, but just, I don't know. I just didn't like it. The setting just did not hit with me. And I do think the movie's kind of not the greatest thing in the world. Definitely, and it's probably because I love Spider-Man Homecoming so freaking much that this movie came out and I just didn't like it as much. I will say, though, the black and red suit, I actually don't mind a lot. And, of course, the Spider-Man scene at the end, absolutely amazing. The ending scene revealing Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio revealing Tom Holland Spider-Man's identity was absolutely amazing. There's good things in this movie. I just think it is one of the weaker Spider-Man movies. Now, next up, No Way Home. Easy S tier. This is my favorite Marvel movie ever. It is my second favorite movie of all time, just behind the Batman 2022. I love No Way Home. I've loved it since the first day I've watched it. I've loved it since the 8th time I've watched it. I loved it since the last time I watched it. I will never not love No Way Home, and I will defend it against everybody. My opinion, 10 out of 10, perfect movie. I don't care. This movie is absolutely amazing, dude. I don't get how people hate this movie. There are some people out there that genuinely, not even rage bait, they just hate this movie. And I don't get it. As a Spider-Man fan, this is the best Spider-Man movie without a shadow of doubt. I freaking love this movie. Best live action, that is. Sorry, we'll get to the later ones. This is the best live action Spider-Man movie. It's never not going to be the best. I freaking love No Way Home. It means so much to me. Just seeing all three Spider-Men, because Spider-Man's one of my favorite characters, on screen together. That ending where he just deletes his identity. It's such a great movie, and I highly suggest if you don't like this movie, please give it a rewatch. Go in with an open mind. I think this movie is absolutely done perfectly. But yeah, No Way Home. I could talk about it for days. Big No Way Home fan on this channel. All right. Next up, Spider-Man Brand New Day. I've only watched it once. I will be going to see it in theaters probably tomorrow. I'm not going to lie. I think this is coming out on the Tuesday I record it. So on that Wednesday, I'm probably going to go see it again. Call it recency bias. I don't freaking care. Spider-Man Brand New Day. Once again, you can call it recency bias. I genuinely believe this is better than Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man 1. Now, I've only seen it once, and I went in going in thinking I'm watching a Spider-Man movie. And I just got to watch a Spider-Man movie again. So, very much recency bias. When I watch it again, I could see myself dropping it below Tobey Maguire's. I don't think it'll ever drop below Homecoming. I already like it so much more than Homecoming that I don't know. Spider-Man 2, sorry. I don't know. As of right now, it's going ahead of Spider-Man 2. I believe is the second best live-action movie. And if it ages like No Way Home, I'm only going to like it more. So it honestly, I don't think it'll ever take No Way Home's spot, but it's just going to grow that much more away from Spider-Man 2. And this movie, I was already getting to the point where Andrew Garfield has been my GOAT my whole entire life. He's just been number one. Since I've been able to just remember that. He's been number one. Tom Holland, since No Way Home, has been literally right here. He's right under him or very, very equal. He's not surpassing him in any way. I still like Andrew Garfield just a little bit better. After this movie, Tom Holland's here. He's here. Tom Holland's my GOAT now. I'm changing teams. I'm switching sides. That being said, Tom Holland's always been my second favorite, but on a good day after I watch No Way Home, he could be my favorite. But I've always just said Andrew Garfield is my favorite just because I've liked him more and his movies are a little bit lesser, and I still like him that much when Tom Holland has such amazing movies, and I like him equally. But after this movie, Tom Holland is my favorite. I think Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man ever, and I don't think we'll ever get a better Spider-Man than Tom Holland. Now, that being said, if we ever get a live-action Miles Morales, I think he can do equal, but we are never getting a better Spider-Man on screen than Tom Holland. If we do, that will be the best casting of all time. That'll be the best performance I've ever seen of all time. Tom Holland's Spider-Man is on par with Iron Man, in my opinion. Of course, RDJ Iron Man is better. It's up here. Tom Holland's right here. But Tom Holland is up there in the best MCU casted people ever. Enough of that rant. Tom Holland is my GOAT. And after watching this Brand New Day, it was just absolutely amazing. Easily a 9 out of 10 right now. It could go higher, it could go lower. So I think it's equal with Spider-Man 2. I'm just putting it ahead right now just because I remember it and I like it a little bit more now. But it was just a fun watch, a great movie. Also, it's been absolutely crushing the box office. It beat the record for the highest domestic money earned in a opening weekend. I think it was like 347 million or something, beating Endgame. It's already made $1 billion after its first weekend. It's gonna make $2 billion. It's gonna go far. It's definitely gonna be in the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time, easily. But yeah, Spider-Man Brand New Day. If you have not seen it, I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want to spoil anything until I make an actual review or it's out for a while. It's peak. Sorry. They did Spider-Man character. They did Peter Parker just so much justice in this movie. Any hate that he could have gotten in the other 3 movies because he's Iron Man Jr., it's not that anymore. He is just the GOAT now. Now, this is my live action ranking, but we have 2 animated movies to get into, and they're amazing. First of all, Into the Spider-Verse, easy S tier, better than No Way Home. I like it more than No Way Home. Oh, that's crazy that I like a Spider-Man movie more than No Way Home. It's Into the Spider-Verse. I don't think there's a single thing wrong with this movie. I genuinely don't. I can't think of a single thing, in my opinion, that I don't like about this movie. Everything works. Everything is perfect. And anytime I turn this on, I cannot find a flaw in the movie. I don't know how many movies I have that are like that. Now, I will say, Spider-Man No Way Home is my second favorite movie of all time. How do I word this? I do like No Way Home more, just for personal preference. I would rather watch No Way Home more. You know what? No. We're making this list by things I would rather watch, and these movies are going behind No Way Home. I was going to kind of say that these movies are better made movies than No Way Home. No. No Way Home's just the GOAT. Sorry. I'm saying that out loud. I can't allow it to happen. But they are very, very close to No Way Home. I don't care. But yeah, that's kind of a hot take, I know, but I love No Way Home so freaking much. But if we were talking about just movie in general, like how good a movie is made, they're easily better. But yeah, they're on the same level. They're both 10 out of 10, so I don't care. You can put them wherever. They are literally like in my top 5 movies. I swear, it's crazy that I possibly have 3 Spider-Man movies in my top 5, but we're just gonna put them both here. I do like Across just a little bit more. But they are both just perfect movies, dude. Like, part of me wishes they weren't animated. So more people would watch them and they would do better in the box office. But then that's what makes them so good, because their animation and just what they do with the animation is absolutely amazing. But there's so many people out there that won't watch these just because they're animated. They're a kids movie because they're animated. No, these movies are absolutely amazing. And I can't wait for the third. If the third is equal to A tier, that trilogy is the best trilogy of all time, because these 2 movies are some of the best movies of all time. And we could get a movie that is a 8 out of 10 to finish off 2 of the best movies of all time. Yeah, it's going to be the best trilogy of all time. But yeah, guys, this is my Spider-Man movie tier list. I do genuinely think there are 5 S-tier Spider-Man movies, and then there are 6 non-S-tier Spider-Man movies. I just think Spider-Man is done so well in movie form. There's only like 3 movies that are lower than a 7 out of 10, and everything else is a 7 out of 10. That is passing if you were in college or whatever. That is at least average in high school. Like, dude, if you have almost every Spider-Man movie at least average a good rating, it's peak. But yeah, I'm going to end the video here, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and like, subscribe, and let me know what other ratings you would love to see. I would love to post content on MCU more like this. And let me know if you would like to see a Brand New Day review. But yeah, guys, I'm going to go and end the video here. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.